Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be swatching out the 36 set of White Nights paints. I won't really be reviewing these today. I already know that I enjoy these watercolors immensely. I've in the past bought 1 or 2 pans, played around with them, and really enjoyed them, but I wanted this white palette. I wanted these fugitive colors, so when I saw this palette on sale, I couldn't help myself. While swatching these out, I kind of wanted to talk about some of the changes I'm going to be making to this palette. White, I just don't use, so that will probably go. For my painting style, I don't need, 6 yellows? I will also be for sure cutting that yellow ochre that really fights you and also happens to be a mix of pigments, neither of which make it shine. Their purple, which happens to be more fugitive than most people would prefer, is gorgeous and totally worth it. And so is this green that I'm swatching now that looks like a fir tree green, just deep and forest. I mentioned before that I really wanted this white palette, and part of that is because the top and bottom mixing wells pop off really easily, and because most of the time I paint at my desk with a porcelain plate, I don't need those and they just kind of get in my way. So that was a really neat aspect of this individual palette. And then that it can be popped back together on a whim to be carried with me is just awesome. Speaking of ceramic dishes, this one I got at World Market for around $6. I think it's supposed to be a soup and salad plate, but I love it for this purpose. When I was talking about swatching out the colors, the other thing I really wanted to take note of before we get into painting is that their earth tones can be lacking. I'll end up replacing a couple of them with other colors from White Nights that I really love, because I really purchased this palette to be something I wanted to use when I felt like being daring and experimental. I must admit that I'm terrible at color comping. For the most part, I like to paint realism, and this definitely is a step away from that for me. Way more illustrative than things I've done in the past. And because of that, I kind of wanted to step out of my comfort zone as far as colors as well. I can't get over how well these paints glaze and layer. I am so hesitant when it comes to skin tones and making the right darkness areas and not losing the light and the glow of skin. It's crippling when I work with gouache, and I end up doing 10 times the work trying to clean things up. But with these watercolors, it made it a joy. Like, it was a pleasure to glaze these and build up slowly all of those differences and shades, the pinks and the cheeks and the darkness of the shade of the nose. And I can't get over how much of a pleasure painting something that's normally difficult for me was, just because of the paints I was using. I think when people talk about art supplies that can get in your way, I think anything you don't love using gets in your way. I think it doesn't matter how expensive, how well known, how pure a brand of watercolors is or a brush is. It doesn't matter how much other people love it. If you hate it, you're not going to make great things with it. If you'll notice, I paint this whole piece with one brush, and I love this brush. I got it on sale really cheap, I believe from Jackson's. It was just a couple of dollars, and I thought, why not? I've always wanted ones that have the little loop to hang them. I don't have anywhere to hang them, so I don't know why that would matter to me, but I like it. I ordered it, and it shocked me how much water it held. For a synthetic brush, it's almost unheard of. And it holds such a beautiful point that I can do everything with it. The large washes, the intricate little things like each little ruffled hair. And so I just decided that this would be a one brush painting, and it surprised me how very versatile it really can be. It always amuses me how much less sense a face makes without eyebrows. The moment you start putting them together, all of the planes of the face seem to make more sense. And I really enjoy that moment in a painting when I start to put in the eyebrows and it feels like the depth of the painting actually makes tons more sense. It's one of my favorite parts of painting people, is when I start putting in the eyebrows, and honestly I should probably be doing it earlier so that I don't hate the painting halfway through it. I'm not gonna lie, taking off the masking fluid on this piece was nerve-wracking. The worry that I had spent all this time getting the values right and working hard on the face, and it could all be ruined by ripped paper, was unnerving. But I really am glad that I decided to use the masking fluid, because it really made this piece, and it felt so neat to take it off and get to see this piece with just those white spaces. I don't know if you can tell here, but this peeled masking fluid that came off in one piece was a completely different brand, and actually was harder to put in, but much more seamless to take out. So I think I will actually be sticking with that brand. I had just completely forgotten to mask out this area before I got started, and I'm kind of glad I did, because it allowed me to compare the two different masking fluids. The first, the one that I used for most of it, was Mascapin, which comes with like a little needle-sized opening and allows you to be very precise. Unfortunately, the bottle started to leak mid-application, and it got all over the face, and I was terrified it would ruin the painting process. It didn't, but it could have, and that was a real bummer, because I had really enjoyed using that without getting masking fluid all over another tool. But the leaf in the bottom left corner I did with the Winsor & Newton masking fluid, and I loved how it went on, and I love how it came off, so I think I'm just going to have to stick with the tried and true Winsor & Newton masking fluid and find a really good tool to use with it. I will leave you guys here, and just wanted to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys again soon.